They call 40 a midlife crisis. I call it the beginning of life. Let me tell you why. When we were young, in our teens and our 20s, we thought we had life all figured out. We looked at people in their 40s and 50s and believed they were old, past their prime, already on the downward slope. It was easy to imagine that everything important, everything exciting, everything meaningful had to happen early in life. But when I crossed into my 40s, I realized just how misguided that belief truly was. Looking back now, I can see that for the first 2 decades of adulthood, we are not really living. We are surviving. In our 20s, we chase what we believe will make us happy. Success, money, status, relationships. We work tirelessly, sometimes recklessly, imagining that each achievement is a brick in the foundation of the life we want. But in the moment, it rarely feels like progress. It feels like scrambling. I'm guessing. Is failing. Starting over. By the time we hit our 30s, life has already thrown us more than a few curveballs. The setbacks, the disappointments, the heartbreaks. Many of us have settled into careers, marriages, maybe even parenthood. From the outside, it appears to be stable. But inside, most of us know the truth. We do not have everything figured out. We do not even have most things figured out. The goals we thought would bring fulfillment often do not matter as much anymore. The dreams we carried in our 20s no longer resonate. And so, for the first time, we begin to question our path. When I turned 40, life changed. It was no longer about chasing the next milestone. Life began to test me in ways I had never imagined. I had built a career. I had maintained relationships. I had worked hard to carve out my version of success. And yet I was forced to face a new reality I had never considered. For the first time, I could not escape the truth of my own mortality. The idea that life is finite stopped being an abstract thought and became painfully real. I began to lose loved ones, parents, friends, colleagues. Death was no longer a distant rumor. It was something I had to confront. I started to recognize that the days were ticking by, that tomorrow was never guaranteed. One day, I too would close my eyes and never open them again. That awareness shook me to the core. People often call this moment a midlife crisis. I do not see it that way. To me, it is a midlife awakening, a chance to break free from old ways of thinking and living that no longer serve us. An opportunity to shed the masks we have worn for decades and stop chasing validation from others. In the early years of my 40s, life knocked me flat. I went through dark mental struggles that left me questioning everything. My purpose, my future, even my will to keep going. There were nights when the weight felt unbearable, when silence turned into a kind of torture. Yet that darkness forced me to confront the truth. And in the middle of that pain, I discovered something extraordinary. I realized that I had built a life worth living. Not the life others wanted for me, but the life I had created through resilience, sacrifice, and faith in myself. Every setback, every failure, every heartbreak, they had all shaped me into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than I had ever imagined. And in that realization, a light broke through. Your 40s are not the end. They are a turning point. They mark the beginning of a new phase, one where the urgency of youth finally fades, and you no longer care so much about what other people think. Instead, you start to prioritize what truly matters: family, health, passions, inner peace. For many of us, the 40s are the first time we begin to feel financially stable. The endless hustle of our 20s and 30s finally begins to ease, and we are able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. But more importantly, we discover that success is not measured by money or titles. Success is waking up each day, knowing you are living in alignment with your values. We begin to let go of the societal expectations that weighed us down for so long. We stop chasing trends. We stop trying to fit into boxes that were never meant for us. We stop living for others and finally start living for ourselves. This shift in mindset is liberating. It allows us to focus on what truly matters. Our children may be growing up. Our parents may be aging. We begin to understand the preciousness of time in a way we never did before. We stop wasting it on things and people that drain us. So no, I do not see midlife as a crisis. I see it as a wake-up call, an opportunity to reassess, to redefine, to realign, to let go of the baggage we have carried for decades, to step into a new chapter of renewed purpose and energy. On the other side of the darkness, there is light, a new perspective, a deeper appreciation for life, a stronger sense of self. I believe that your 40s are not about decline. They are about rediscovering joy. When was the last time you asked yourself what truly makes you happy, not what you thought would make you happy? Like a promotion or a new car, but what genuinely fills your soul? This is the time to return to those passions you placed on the back burner, to spend more time with loved ones, to create something meaningful, to pursue hobbies or dreams that once felt impossible. Because in your 40s, you finally realize something powerful. You are capable. You have the power to design the life you have always wanted. By the time you step fully into your 40s, something shifts inside you. You are no longer racing the way you once did. The fire of ambition is still there, but it burns differently. It becomes steadier, warmer, and more focused. In your 20s and 30s, every moment feels like a sprint. You run toward jobs, toward love, toward success, desperate to prove yourself. But in your 40s, you finally pause long enough to ask the question that changes everything. Am I living the life I actually want? Or the life I thought I was supposed to want? That question can be terrifying, because the answers are rarely simple. You start to look back at the years behind you. You remember the long nights, the sacrifices, the battles you fought to get here. And you wonder if you climbed the ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. This is the moment people call a crisis. But it is not a crisis. It is clarity. It is the moment when the noise finally quiets and you hear your own voice again. When I was in my early 40s, I went through some of the darkest seasons of my life. The struggles were not just professional. They were deeply personal. I carried stress in my body like armor. My mind was restless. I filled with doubts I never had the courage to face in my younger years. There were mornings when I looked in the mirror and did not recognize the person staring back. But inside that pain, something powerful began to take root. I started to see that all the challenges, all the heartbreaks, all the sleepless nights, had given me gifts I did not notice before. Strength, resilience, perspective. It was like walking through a storm. The rain lashes against your skin. The wind nearly knocks you over. You can barely see what is in front of you. And then suddenly, the clouds break. The air clears, and the world looks sharper, brighter, more alive. That is what my 40s felt like. The storm forced me to strip away what was false and cling to what was real. I learned that success is not about the car you drive or the title on your business card. It is about waking up in the morning and feeling peace in your chest. It is about going to bed at night knowing you lived that day true to yourself. In this season, priorities shift. You start to treasure conversations with your children more than any promotion. You begin to value a quiet evening with your partner more than any night out trying to impress people you barely know. You see the importance of calling your parents while you still can, of laughing with old friends, of building memories that outlast material possessions. The 40s also teach you the importance of health. In your 20s, your body bounces back no matter how you treat it. Late nights, fast food, endless stress. It all feels manageable. But in your 40s, if your body sends you signals you can no longer ignore, the aches, the fatigue, the quiet reminder that nothing lasts forever, and instead of being a curse, this becomes a gift, because it pushes you to take care of yourself in a way you never did before. Exercise stops being about appearance and becomes about longevity. Food stops being about comfort and becomes about fuel. Rest stops being a luxury and becomes a necessity. Mentally, the same transformation happens. You begin to release toxic relationships. You stop clinging to the people who drain your energy and surround yourself with those who lift you up. You stop letting the opinions of strangers shape the way you live. You stop apologizing for being yourself. There is a freedom in that release. A freedom you do not feel in your 20s when you are desperate for approval. A freedom you do not feel in your 30s when you are buried under responsibility. But in your 40s, you finally breathe. You finally live. This decade is not about fearing change. It is about embracing it, because you learn that change is not your enemy. Change is the very thing that allows you to grow. I remember one evening, sitting alone on my back porch. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of gold and red. And for the first time in years, I felt still. I was not thinking about the next deal or the next milestone. I was simply present. I realized that this stillness, this awareness, was the treasure I had been chasing all along. Your 40s give you that treasure if you allow them to. They give you a chance to slow down and notice the small joys you used to rush past. The sound of laughter in your home. The warmth of coffee in the morning. The simple act of breathing deeply without hurry. And here is the truth. Your best years are not behind you. They are in front of you. The 40s are not the closing act. They are the opening scene of a new chapter. So if you are in this season of life, or about to enter it, do not fear. Do not mourn the passing of youth. Instead, and celebrate the wisdom, the clarity, and the strength that only time can give. Because life really does begin at 40, and it begins not with the loud applause of the world, but with the quiet certainty inside your own heart that you are finally, truly, living. When I look back now, I realize that my 40s did not just change the way I live. They changed the way I see everything. Time, relationships, even myself. In my 20s, I thought happiness would come from proving myself, from being the hardest worker in the room, from building a life that looked successful on the outside, but I also carried anxiety everywhere I went. Every setback felt like the end of the world. Every failure felt like proof that I was not enough. In my 30s, I believed stability was the answer. The house, the steady job, the sense that I had arrived somewhere. But underneath the surface, I was restless. I kept asking if this was really all there was. I pushed forward. But deep down, I felt something was missing. It was only in my 40s that I learned the real lesson. Happiness is not something you chase. It is something you allow. It is not about more. It is about less. Less pretending. Less comparing. Less trying to meet standards that were never mine to begin with. This realization was not instant. It came slowly. Through trials I would not wish on anyone. The loss of people I loved. The weight of responsibility. The silent battles with my own mind. But those battles shaped me. They gave me a kind of wisdom that books and classrooms could never teach. And so I began to rebuild my life from the inside out. I focused on what gave me peace. I invested in the relationships that mattered most. I stopped chasing recognition and started pursuing meaning. Do not get me wrong. I still work. I still set goals. I still dream. But now I dream differently. I dream in alignment with who I am, not who I thought I had to be. The most surprising part is how liberating it feels. I no longer wake up trying to win the approval of the world. I wake up asking how I can make today count. How I can love the people around me. How I can stay present in the moment I have been given. The 40s are often painted as a decline and a downward slide into age. But that is a lie. The 40s are a chance to finally live without the illusions that clouded your youth. They are the decade when your scars become stories, when your mistakes become lessons, when your pain becomes strength. And that is why I believe life really begins here. Not because it is perfect, not because everything is easy, but because you finally understand what matters. I think of the nights when I stayed awake, wrestling with regret. I think of the mornings when I dragged myself forward despite the weight on my chest. I think of the conversations with friends who felt the same, each of us walking through our own version of the storm. And I realize now, those storms were not punishments. They were invitations. Invitations to wake up, to grow, to change. If you are listening to this and you are approaching your 40s, or maybe you are already there, I want you to hear me. Do not fear this season. Do not call it a crisis. Call it what it really is. An awakening. It is the time to ask yourself the hard questions. Am I living with integrity? Am I spending my days on what matters? Am I making choices that align with the person I want to become? If the answer is no, then this is your chance to begin again. Not from scratch, but from experience. And there is no greater foundation than that. I believe your best years are still ahead of you. Not because the future will be free of struggle, But because you will face those struggles with a strength you never had before, you will walk into each new challenge with the courage of someone who has already survived so much. So let this be your reminder. Life is short. Make it count. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for permission. You have already earned the right to live fully. You have fought. You have survived. Now it is time to thrive. If you take nothing else from this story, take this. Your 40s are not the end. They are the beginning. The beginning of a life lived with clarity, with purpose, with love. And if you agree, if you feel the truth of these words in your own heart, I invite you to do something simple right now. Go down to the comments and type one word, midlife, not as a symbol of crisis, but as a declaration of awakening. Because sometimes, writing one word can remind you of the story you are living. And if this message has spoken to you, share it with someone who needs it, a friend who is afraid of aging, a parent who feels stuck, a colleague who has forgotten their own worth. Let them know that the best is not behind them. The best is yet to come. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. And remember this, you are not too late. You are not past your prime. You are right on time. Because life really does begin at 40.